There's a story in the news about a convicted murderer called Sophie Eastwood. But Sophie is a trans woman, so that when she was born, he was called Daniel. And Daniel was arrested and jailed in 2004 for dangerous driving. And it must have been really fucking dangerous to get sent to prison for it. However, a month before he was due to be released, Daniel used his shoelaces to garrote his cellmate and then decided that he's a woman. So for the rest of the video, I'll be using the pronouns she and her. So here she is. How convincing, how feminine, how fragile. And in no way does she look like she could play as a prop forward for Leicester Tigers rugby club. But this is the modern world we live in. If you meet someone who's clearly male, but they choose to identify as a 1997 Canon inkjet printer and you don't go along with it, you'll get branded as a fascist, and people will say you approve of homosexuals being stoned to death in Afghanistan, and also imply that at the weekends you put on your white hooded robes and go out for some casual lynching. And the reason that Sophie is in the news is that she now identifies as a baby, and the prison are taking it fucking seriously. The list of demands which the prison has met includes that Sophie must have a dummy, which I believe in the new world are called pacifiers. She wears nappies or diapers. All her food has to be mushed up in a blender. And whenever she leaves the cell, she has to hold the hand of one of the prison guards. What the fuck? And this prison is in Scotland, meaning that if, like me, you're a UK taxpayer, we're funding this shit. A statement from the prison reads, "It's difficult to know if she feels a natural inclination towards being a baby or if this is some type of attention seeking. I'd go with the latter." What we've got here is a man who identified as a woman, but when that wasn't enough, when that didn't keep the spotlight on him, her, it, whatever, she now identifies as a baby. And because modern society is so terrified of offending these fucking lunatics, the prison have gone along with it. So let's go through the list of demands. First up, wearing a nappy. Now, babies wear nappies because they haven't learned how to control their bowels. If an adult is wearing one, they have to make a conscious choice, a decision to shit themselves. But it wouldn't surprise me if next Sophie is demanding that the prison governor wipes her arse. And of the other special privileges for the convicted murderer, someone who willingly took the life of another human being, if she wants a dummy, that's fine, but dip it in cyanide just before they give it her. If she wants her food mushed up, again, that's fine, but make sure iron filings and broken glass get put in with it. And as for holding her hand, yes, the prison guard should hold her hand with a pair of pliers and break the fucker's fingers. And if that wasn't ridiculous enough, since 2018, Sophie has been serving her sentence in a women's prison. Despite it being common knowledge that transgender prisoners present a massive threat to female inmates, there have been numerous cases of trans women assaulting and even raping the women they're in prison with. But because trans women are portrayed as such victims, they're so high up on the hierarchy of victimhood, their rights trample on the rights of actual women. Yeah, keep it light, Danny. And I know there will be a load of progressive, left-leaning, bleeding heart liberals crying into their fair trade vegan couscous saying, "This is so terrible, she was born a man and she's really a woman, and now the trauma of prison has made her regress to being an infant. Oh, killing her cellmate was a cry for help, it was suicide by proxy." And to those people I say this, have a fucking day off. And did you know it costs £41,000 to keep one prisoner in a British prison for 1 year? 41 grand. If I ran the prison system, I'd have that down to about 20 quid. In fact, no, if I ran the prison system, they'd be turning a profit, because all the prisons would be available to the public on a pay-per-view basis, and inside it'd be like a cross between the Maze Runner and Squid Game. When new convicts arrived, they'd be greeted thus: "Oh, you've got 15 years? Don't worry, son, you probably won't last a fortnight." And I'd cut the cost of catering in prisons by simply throwing a bag of seeds over the wall once every 6 weeks and shouting to the inmates, "There you go, you can grow them or resort to cannibalism." Prison should be a deterrent. If I was in charge, it fucking would be. And what about convicts like Sophie, where we can be 100% certain that she committed the murder, albeit when she was a he? Well, I've got a solution. that's low cost, it's sustainable, it's reusable, and it's practical. It's called rope. As ever, thanks for watching. So this is Sophie. I know it's hard to believe she wasn't born a woman, because so many lasses work as hod carriers. So for the rest of this video, I'll be using the pronouns she and her. How'd we fucking get to this? His shoelaces to garrote his cellmate and then decided that he's a woman. One less to pay for. These demands weren't ridiculous enough. Since 2018, and what about convicts like... oh, fuck it. Fucking puddle. I don't get why people are so hung up on pronouns, because if I decide to identify as a woman or a horse or a fucking Welsh dresser, that's my business. Why does everyone else have to go along with my fucking delusion? If I identify fucking wank it, can't even get wank out right. And now I'm dragging me leg, wiping dog shit off me shoe. Lovely. And usually, I'm not an advocate for the death sentence. But when you're about to get let out of prison and then murder the man you're in the cell with, that's taking the piss, isn't it? Best not put that in. There's a hole there.